Many of the things we find out about our ancient ancestors are confusing, and sometimes those puzzles remain unsolved no matter how much effort we put in. We do know quite a bit about the finds you're about to see, but we don't know the full story. Sometimes we don't know who built them, and in other cases we're unsure how or for what they were built. With that in mind, here are some of the most mysterious discoveries from the past that archaeologists still can't explain. Number 15. The Algarve DNA egg. This ancient egg-shaped stone was found in Portugal's Algarve region, and what's baffling is that it was carved approximately 7,000 years ago. It features a striking design, what appears to be the double helix structure of DNA. Modern science didn't uncover the shape of DNA until 1953, making this discovery even more puzzling. Perhaps the ancient carver didn't intend to represent DNA at all. Some suggest it's a rod, a motif found in many ancient cultures from Mesopotamia to Egypt. But if it's a rod, why carve it into an egg? The egg, long a symbol of fertility, makes the resemblance to DNA, life's blueprint, all the more symbolic. From our modern perspective, it makes sense. But for someone in prehistoric times to connect those ideas seems far-fetched. Still, the carving's precision and placement fuel curiosity. No matter what it depicts, the artifact stands as one of the most visually perplexing carvings of its kind, where coincidence and symbolism collide in a way that keeps the mystery very much alive. Number 14. Coffins of Arthur's Seat. This strange and scary discovery was made nearly 2 centuries ago on the slopes of Arthur's Seat near Edinburgh. In 1836, a group of young boys hunting rabbits stumbled upon a small cave containing 17 tiny wooden coffins, each one holding a creepy carved human figure. The coffins were carefully arranged in 2 neat rows of 8, with one set atop the others, separated by a slate. Each miniature casket was hand-carved from pine and featured delicate details, including fragments of fabric on the figures. Over the years, many of the original 17 have vanished, and only 8 remain, now preserved in the National Museum of Scotland. At the time of their discovery, some feared they were used in witchcraft. Others thought they honored lost sailors, but no theory has ever stuck. The most chilling possibility ties them to Burke and Hare, who murdered 17 people in Edinburgh for medical dissection. With that parallel in mind, the miniature coffins still remain one of Scotland's most unsettling and strange mysteries. Number 13. The Cascajal block. Describing this thing as a hoax would be putting it mildly. To its supporters, it's the earliest known example of writing in the Americas, attributed to the ancient Olmec civilization. To its critics, it's a modern fabrication. Found in Veracruz back in 1990, not through excavation but by road builders, the context of its discovery continues to fuel skepticism. Clay artifacts nearby have been dated to roughly 1000 BCE, so the assumption is that the Cascajal block belongs to the same period. Its surface features dozens of glyphs arranged in loosely ordered rows. Some symbols resemble animals or birds, but many are abstract and indecipherable. The inconsistent alignment makes it hard to compare with known Mesoamerican scripts, and some researchers believe each glyph represents a separate concept or word. Others point to repeated symbols suggesting a phonetic system. If authentic, it predates Zapotec writing by centuries. For now, though, without consensus or translation, the block remains unread and heavily debated. Number 12. Tarbagatai Mountain. Gold hoard treasure hunts don't usually end in success, but back in 2018, a research team digging in the Tarbagatai Mountains of Kazakhstan hit a jackpot. They found a huge 2,800-year-old cache of royal Saka jewelry containing more than 3,000 gold pieces. Experts believe the hoard once belonged to a Saka ruler, a monarch of an ancient nomadic civilization. While the quantity alone is astonishing, what truly surprised archaeologists was the craftsmanship. Some of the beads show signs of intricate micro-soldering, indicating an unexpected level of technical expertise. These weren't any ornaments. They were precision-engineered pieces likely used to embellish ceremonial garments. The gold itself might have come from local sources, but the mining and refining methods used remain unclear. How such advanced metallurgy emerged in such an isolated area during that period remains one of the biggest questions. The discovery doesn't just show the wealth of the Saka elite, it suggests they had skills long thought beyond their time. Number 11. Golden Altar of Sant'Ambrogio. The Golden Altar of St. Ambrogio in Milan showcases stunning examples of ancient gilding, paper-thin layers of gold bonded flawlessly onto carved surfaces, giving them a brilliance and reverence. It's almost unthinkable that the piece was created as early as the year 825. That's not just due to its preservation, but the gilding method itself, which seems far too advanced for the era. While there are global examples of gilding dating back 2,000 years, scientists still can't determine how it was achieved with such perfection. In fact, modern tools and machinery still struggle to replicate it at this level of quality. Beyond ceremonial use, ancient gold layering techniques were often employed by forgers, using gold or silver veneers to disguise less valuable materials and sell them at inflated prices. Ironically, this means some of history's most convincing counterfeiters had technical mastery that surpasses even today's metallurgical precision. That leaves us questioning, how did ancient artisans gain access to such refined skills? Number 10. Funerary altar for Valeria Laieta. Well, this find was uncovered not by planning or months of digging, but almost by accident. Utility work in central Rome inadvertently exposed a 2nd century marble funerary altar. This beautifully crafted block carries an inscription dedicating it to a girl who passed at just 13 years old. The altar was found during a waterworks upgrade on Via Luigi Tosti. It remained hidden because it sat over 6 feet beneath the present street level. The altar is carved from white marble and includes bas-reliefs of birds and fruit baskets, both traditionally symbols of abundance in Greco-Roman culture. The brief Latin epitaph reads, Valeria P.F. Laieta vixit annis Thethene mensibus sevem. In translation, Valeria Laieta lived 13 years and 7 months. The meanings behind the initials P and F remain uncertain, though F likely denotes filia, daughter. Her cause of death is totally unknown, and her remains do not appear to be buried alongside the altar. Number 9. 85 undisturbed tombs in Sohag. We're going to Egypt, where archaeologists announced in May 2022 the unearthing of 85 tombs in Sohag, an astonishing spread that spans more than 2,500 years. For the team involved, the sheer continuity of burial practices across millennia made the discovery exceptional. The tombs remained sealed, with skeletal remains and grave goods still in place. The oldest of these burials dates back 4,500 years to Egypt's Old Kingdom, while the most recent were interments from the later dynastic periods. Some of the newer graves included burial permits listing the deceased's name, age, occupation, and parentage. The majority of tombs had been discreetly carved into the side of a mountain, and several larger ones were cleverly linked by hidden corridors. Alongside the graves, archaeologists uncovered a mud brick tower thought to be a lookout post, built under the reign of King Ptolemy III, roughly 2,300 years ago. Number 8. The tomb of Wahibrahim Akhet. Archaeologists working near Egypt's Giza Plateau made a surprising find, a double-tiered tomb belonging to a military commander named Wahibrahim Akhet, buried over 2,600 years ago. The hieroglyphs within the tomb reveal something previously unknown. Wahibrahim Akhet led battalions composed entirely of foreign mercenaries. That detail has led experts to call this the earliest example of a globalized military organization. The tomb's structure is striking, its sarcophagus encased in a limestone shell protecting a granite inner coffin. The granite was shaped into a human form, a feat made especially difficult by the fact that ancient craftsmen worked only with hand tools. Sadly, the tomb was robbed 1,000 years ago, and the body was taken. Still, what remains gives historians significant insight into Egypt's military structure during that era. It also hints that Egypt relied on foreign soldiers more heavily than previously believed. Number 7. Cave etchings found in Alabama. As technology advances, archaeologists are able to identify traces of ancient human activity no longer visible to the naked eye. One such case is in northern Alabama, where 3D photogrammetry recently revealed a series of 1,000-year-old engravings inside a low-ceilinged cave. Most of the images depict humanoid forms, though one striking figure appears to be a serpent. The etchings are attributed to Native American artists and now hold the distinction of being the largest cave art figures ever discovered in North America. While Native American petroglyphs aren't uncommon, they're typically found on exposed canyon or cliff surfaces. Artwork deep inside confined caves is rare. Until about 40 years ago, experts believed little ancient cave art existed in the southeastern United States. This particular cave's ceiling is just 2 feet high, forcing archaeologists to study the images while lying flat. The confined nature of the space suggests that creating this artwork was a deliberate act, not just one of convenience. Number 6. Nero's Forgotten Sphinx Chamber. Back in 2020, archaeologists revealed a hidden chamber beneath Emperor Nero's palace in Rome, a room that had remained concealed for nearly 2,000 years. Known now as the Sphinx Room, the space is richly decorated, its walls covered in vivid red frescoes featuring animals both real and mythical. Some experts believe these murals were once gilded, reinforcing the theory that this chamber may have been part of Nero's fabled Golden House. Historians agree that the palace and its underground passageways were constructed following the Great Fire of Rome in 64 CE. After Nero's death, his successors destroyed or buried much of the complex, viewing it as excessive and self-indulgent. The Colosseum was later built over part of the site. Whether the workers simply missed the Sphinx Room or never knew it existed is unknown. Full excavation will be a slow, painful process, but researchers remain committed to finding answers. Number 5. Dragon skeleton in China. Dragons appear in the mythology of nearly every civilization across the globe, but we accept them as fiction. We've seen them in fantasy series like Game of Thrones, but never as physical remains. Could that shared mythology stem from a real source? In 2017, a viral video from China caused a stir. It appeared to show the skeleton of a big creature, featuring a large skull, stubby arms, and a long spine measuring approximately 60 feet. The proportions resemble the traditional image of a dragon. Some speculate it might be the remains of an undiscovered dinosaur species. Experts reviewed the footage and found no signs of editing. What's strange is that nobody seems to know where the skeleton was unearthed or why it was left exposed in a field. While the authenticity and origin remain unknown, the lack of explanation only deepens the intrigue. A few more details about this find would help. But so far, nothing concrete has surfaced. Number 4. Collapsed Mayan city in Lake Atitla. Why the ancient Maya chose to establish a city inside a volcanic crater remains a mystery, but that they did is undeniable. In 2022, marine archaeologists confirmed the ruins of a lost Mayan city submerged beneath Lake Atitlan in Guatemala. The remains date back roughly 2,000 years to the late pre-classic period. Evidence suggests the settlement was hastily abandoned before collapsing entirely, most likely due to volcanic instability. The collapse drove the city to the lake's floor, where it now rests nearly 70 feet below the surface. Underwater teams have since identified remnants of large columns, ceremonial stones, and structural ruins, all heavily damaged by centuries underwater. The site remains unnamed for now, but it joins 2 other known sunken cities in the lake, Samabaj and Zununa. Though no single event explains the Mayas' widespread disappearance, their decision to build amid seismic zones may have played a role. Number 3. Ancient Keeper of Royal Secrets, Tomb in Egypt. Alright, let's go back to Egypt, where the final resting place of a royal confidant was revealed back in May 2022 at the Saqqara necropolis. The tomb belongs to Metzezi, a high-ranking official who served Pharaoh Userkare between 2333 and 2331 BCE. The lavish nature of the tomb suggests immense trust from the pharaoh. Inscriptions imply Metzezi may have also served Pharaoh Teti, Userkare's father. If so, the secrets he carried could have been substantial. Historians suspect Userkare may have assassinated Teti to claim power, a brutal reality of Egyptian succession. That Metzezi lived long enough to earn such a distinguished burial speaks volumes. The tomb features inscriptions, reliefs, and a symbolic dry moat, intended as a boundary between the living and the dead. In a time when silence meant survival, Metzezi's life and death remains a quiet yet powerful reflection of the politics that shaped Egypt's 6th dynasty. Number 2. 12th century Apsara carving in Cambodia. Most people familiar with archaeology know Angkor in Cambodia, home to Angkor Wat, the world's largest known religious monument. The site's global renown might suggest that everything of value has already been uncovered, but that assumption was challenged again in early 2022. Near the Takav Gate of Angkor Thom Temple, archaeologists found a previously unrecorded carving from the 12th century. The artwork depicts an Apsara, a celestial nymph or water spirit from Khmer tradition, often associated with dance and fertility. The carving, though well preserved, seems incomplete. Experts believe either the original stone slab was relocated or that a second slab bearing the remaining details is missing. Regardless, its preservation is remarkable. How it escaped attention from the many teams who've surveyed Angkor over the decades remains unclear. The find is a reminder that even in one of the world's most thoroughly studied heritage sites, history can still slip through the cracks, waiting patiently to be seen again. Number 1. Tutankhamun's Mysterious Ring. While sifting through the untouched tomb of Tut in 1922, archaeologists found a ring that's still baffling scholars today. Unlike most of the well-known artifacts recovered from the burial site, this particular object resists conventional explanation. Some Egyptologists argue that it symbolizes the ancient god Ptah, but the engraved figure doesn't resemble any traditional depiction of him. The being on the ring has noticeably non-human features and appears to be hovering above a platform rather than standing. The strange items arranged around the figure also defy interpretation. It might be an example of abstract expression, but the truth is lost with time. Some researchers point to this artifact as possible evidence supporting fringe theories about alien contact in ancient Egypt. While mainstream science rejects that notion, the ring remains an unsettling outlier among the treasures of the pharaoh's tomb. Well, that's it for today. If you've enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for hanging with us, and we'll see you soon.